everyone, welcome to another Procreate tutorial. This is the drawing that we will be completing in today's video. This burgers and fries and soda drawing with lots of fun texture, lots of fun colors. We're going to sketch everything first, then we'll lay down our hard lines, then we'll fill in all of our color and add all of our texture and details. So it's a little bit longer just because we do have to we sketch it, then we draw it, then we fill it in. But it's really, really fun and has this incredible result at the end. And I hope that you learn a lot of new stuff. We use some really fun brushes and some fun techniques. So if you're new here, I mainly post Procreate tutorials. So if that is something you are interested in, go ahead and subscribe. I also offer extra tutorials over on Patreon. So I have that linked in the description below. If you'd like to check that out and support me over there, it's really helpful so that I can keep making all these free tutorials, but you get access to exclusive tutorials that I only post on Patreon, sneak peeks of what I'm working on next. And we've been drawing lots of fun stuff over there recently. So here's a few of the things that we've been doing. So again, that's linked to the description below if you'd like to check that out. But before we get started, the only thing you will need to do is download the color palette and the special brush that we'll use today. They're both linked in the description below. They're totally free to download. For the color palette, just download the file to your iPad and then double tap on it or click on it and click open in Procreate so that you can use the same colors as you follow along with the video today. And then for the custom brush, just download the brush to your iPad and then open up a canvas. And if you click into your brush library here, find whatever folder you want to save it in. If you have a special folder for things like this, like a custom folder or something, and then click the plus icon, import, and then find the brush where you saved it in your files to import it there. Otherwise, all of the rest of the brushes that we use are standard Procreate brushes. And then I will also post the canvas dimensions, color profile, and layers needed on the screen here and in the description below so that you can use those to set up your canvas. So take a minute to get everything ready and then come back and we will get started. Okay, here is the color palette that we will be working with today. So we'll first make our background, then we'll sketch our objects, we'll lay down our hard lines, we'll fill in all of our colors, add some shadows and textures and stuff, and we'll add just some last little details to kind of finish it off. So first things first, let's set our background color. So to do that, we'll go to our layer menu, click on this background color layer to open up our color selector and select this first color on the first row to set it to this creamy color. Then we'll go to our layer menu. Let's just be on layer 1. We are going to create the shape on our background now. So we'll start with the second color on the top row of the color palette. We will be on our monoline brush under the calligraphy tab. I have the size for that set to like 50%. And we'll turn on symmetry to help us so we get a perfectly symmetrical shape. So to do that, we'll go under the gear icon, under canvas, click to turn on the drawing guide, click edit drawing guide, set it to symmetry here, and just make sure you see a vertical line. If you don't, you can click vertical under the options here, and then click done. Then on our layer menu, this layer should now say assisted. If it doesn't, just go ahead and click on it and turn on drawing assist. But now with our monoline brush, we're going to make this kind of like oval at the top first. So let's just kind of start anywhere, draw the whole oval, so left and right side, so we get essentially 2 ovals. Hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth, and then if you touch your finger on the screen, you might get a horizontal oval. That's kind of what we're going for. If yours turns to a circle, you maybe drew it too close to a circle, so you can try to redraw it, but I do just want to kind of set it to this horizontal angle, and then set a good size where we're like almost touching the edge. Okay, then go ahead and click this edit ellipse button and we'll just kind of bring them together so we get one oval roughly. So get it as close as you can. If you're having trouble getting an oval and it keeps switching to a circle, you can again click that edit ellipse button and just make sure that these 2 blue dots here are on our symmetry line, and that will get you a perfectly horizontal oval as well. But again, I just have a little bit of room showing at the top and on the right and left side. Then let's grab our pen tool again and let's make a straight line down the right side. So right where the right side of this oval is, I'm going to start there, make a perfectly straight vertical line, hold it down until it turns perfectly straight. And if you touch your finger on the screen, it'll make it perfectly vertical. I'm going to draw it down quite a ways, leaving a little gap at the bottom like this. And then most importantly, we're going to click our line button here and make sure it lines up on the right side here nicely. So if you need to move it in or out just to kind of get a nice, good, connection there, that's good. Okay, pen tool again. We're going to make like a rounded corner down here. So to do that, we're going to make a little circle. So just draw a circle kind of right here. Hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth. Touch your finger on the screen to make it a perfect circle, maybe about this size. And then click the edit circle button. And now we'll line it up. So we want to line up like this blue right dot with the corner of our previous line there. So it looks nice and smooth. Then we'll grab our pen tool again and we'll connect it across the bottom. So at the very bottom of the circle, draw to the middle, hold it down, touch your fingers to the screen to make it perfectly horizontal. Click the edit line button at the top to move it if you need to get it nice and lined up at the bottom there. Once that is looking good, we can go ahead and fill everything in. So fill in our oval, fill in our main shape, fill in our circles. Okay, and it should look something like this. Now we can go ahead and sketch our main object. So on our layer menu, let's add a new layer above this one. Let's click on it and turn on Drawing Assist. We are going to use Symmetry to make our first shape, which is going to be our cup. So let's grab our black color 6th one on the top row, and let's grab a nice sketching pencil, the 6B pencil under the sketching category. I'll have the size set to like 50. And essentially, let's just maybe make like the lid first. So I'm going to start maybe like a third of the way down this shape, maybe right about here. And I'm going to start, a little ways from my symmetry line, maybe like a third of the way from it, the third of the way from like the middle point to the edge, maybe about right there. And I'm going to go across to the middle, hold it down, touch your finger to the screen. And this is just a sketch, so it doesn't have to be anything too pretty, but we're just getting a general idea of things. So then from this right side, I'm going to go down at a slight angle, hold that down. This is creating our lid. We'll go across back to the middle, hold it down, touch your finger to the screen. Okay, now we're going to go straight down from this corner, so right here, and we're going to draw kind of the main part of the cup, so the sides of it. So hold that line down. We're going to angle it in just a little bit, and give it a good height. So I'm maybe like a fourth from the bottom of my shape here now. And then connect that across the bottom as well. Hold it down, touch your finger to the screen. So this is the start of our cup. Okay, on the top here, let's just make 2 little bubbles that like pop off of our lid. So kind of like in this right side here, I'm just going to make a little bubble, something like that. Okay, now we can make our straw, but to do so we need to turn off Symmetry. So on our layer menu, click on this layer, turn off Drawing Assist. Same layer though, same everything. And we'll start a little to the left of Symmetry to make our first line for our straw coming out of our cup. Hold that down, make a good long line, hold it down. Touch your finger on the screen and find this angle. It's 1 from vertical. So this is vertical. If we go over to the right one, that is our line. Okay, I'm going to go a little to the right of the symmetry line, do the same thing, hold it down, touch your finger to the screen, find that same angle, make them kind of meet up at the top there. Okay, then at the top, we're just going to create a really skinny oval, like so. I didn't hold it down or anything, but you can. But that is our cup. Feel free to adjust it if you need to. I might make like my straw a little bit wider. So we'll just kind of do the same thing. Maybe kind of more like that. So this is where the sketching comes in handy. So just sketch until you like the way it looks. Might make my lid a little bit taller. And I don't have symmetry turned on still, so I'll just kind of go through like that. Kind of whatever you want to do, but a pretty general idea like this is good. You can use your eraser to go back through and clean things up. So I have my eraser also set to the monoline brush. I'll set my size pretty small to like 10. And then you can kind of clean up any like extra sketch lines that you have if that's helpful to you. So that when we go to lay down our hard lines, you have a better idea which ones to follow. Okay. So anyway, that is our cup. Okay, and then just so that we can kind of proportion everything, we're going to leave this sketch on while we draw our next one, which is going to be our fries. So on our layer menu, I'm going to click the N on this layer and just drag the opacity on it down quite a ways to like 20%. Then we'll add a new layer for our new sketch. Click on it and turn on Drawing Assist so that we can use Symmetry again. And same color, same brush and everything. Okay, so our fries are going to be, the fries are going to start like right underneath our lid. And then our bottom of our package is going to be a little bit lower than our cup, something kind of like that. So I am just going to start the actual package, maybe like a third of the way down from the top of our cup here, like right here maybe. Okay, and it'll be a little bit wider too. So I'm going to start maybe out like right here, and I'm going to draw my first line for the right and left side of my package. So another angled line, maybe a little bit more angled this time. Hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth. Okay, I'm going to let it go. Okay, we're going to kind of round at the bottom here real quick, just a nice little round. And then we'll draw straight to the middle, hold it down, touch your finger on the screen to make it perfectly horizontal. Okay, we're going to round on this top corner too, a little bit like this. Then we're going to go up at a slight angle, hold it down somewhere like there. We're going to round down a little bit and then kind of come into this nice little kind of curve there to be the front of our package. Okay, that looks good. I might want it to be a little bit taller, so I'm going to grab it with my arrow tool on freeform and just drag it down just a little bit there, like so. We might end up like making our cup taller, like we'll just kind of see, but proportionally I think that looks better. Let's go ahead and sketch our stripes in too while we're here. So same pen, just a little ways from our symmetry line, we're going to draw some straight vertical lines. So a nice vertical line, hold it down, touch your finger on the screen to make it perfectly vertical. And click my line button, I might move it out a little bit further. Okay, then we want one stripe on each side, slightly angled. So I'm going to start maybe a little ways in from this curve here. Draw a slightly angled line towards the bottom, hold it down, and then I'll go maybe like halfway on this top part and make the other line, again, just slightly angled, something kind of like that. Those are our stripes, that looks good. Then our fries, let's go ahead and turn symmetry off for these. So on our layer menu, let's actually just add a new layer because we're going to make one fry and then we're going to kind of duplicate it for the other one. So let's add a new layer, same color and everything. Okay, so for our first one, we're going to make it pretty tall. So I'm going to start a little ways from the symmetry line, go straight up, hold it down, touch your finger to the screen to make it perfectly vertical again, pretty tall. Okay, go straight across the top, hold it down, touch your finger on the screen to make it perfectly horizontal, and then go straight back down vertically again, hold it down, touch your finger on the screen. And then to make it look kind of 3D, we're going to, on the right side, I'm going to go down at a slight angle, and then go another vertical line pretty close to our first one there. So that kind of makes it look like a 3D fry. So now we're going to do a bunch of these. We're just going to duplicate this one. Okay, so let's just go ahead and place this one first. I'm going to make this one kind of shorter. So I'm going to grab it with my arrow tool. I'm going to move it down quite a bit. We can get rid of everything else in here in a minute. But essentially, something like this. I'm going to go to my layer menu, make a duplicate of this layer. So slide to the left and hit duplicate. I'm going to grab the bottom one, arrow tool. I'm going to like maybe angle it a little to the right. Maybe on freeform, make it a little skinnier, and then kind of place it maybe up here, overlapping with this one. Okay. Back to my layer menu, make another duplicate of my top one, my original one. Again, grab the bottom one, arrow tool. This time let's click flip horizontal. And then same thing, I might skinny it up a little on freeform, maybe make it a little taller or something, angle it to the left a little bit, and then kind of place it here a little lower than my other one so we get some good height variation going. Okay, keep on going. Let's make another duplicate of our top one. Select the bottom one that pops up. Arrow tool, let's flip it horizontally again. Maybe we won't change the width of it this time. I'm just going to angle it slightly and kind of place it over here. Okay, another duplicate of my original one. Grab the bottom one, arrow tool. This time we won't flip it. Let's go ahead and just angle it a little bit. Kind of put it up a little higher. Maybe it's pretty straight up and down even. Maybe it's a little lower actually. Let's bring it down. Okay, layer menu, let's make a duplicate of our top one again. Select the bottom one, arrow tool. Let's flip this one again horizontally. Make it a little taller. And kind of place it on the edge over here. Okay, then we kind of just need to fill in the left side the same way. So top one again, duplicate, bottom one, arrow tool. Let's leave it the same, maybe a little taller, angle it a little bit, maybe this way, maybe a little bit lower. Okay, duplicate of our top one, select the bottom one, arrow tool, let's flip it this time. Taller and skinnier. Let's kind of maybe place it right here, maybe a little taller. Yeah, let's do kind of tall right there. Okay, original one, duplicate, bottom one, arrow tool. Let's leave it the same, make it skinnier. And this will probably be like our last one over here. So let's just kind of place it maybe right there. Okay, and then all of them together, I want them to kind of fill in this area a little bit better. So I'm going to just grab all of them on my layer menu here. So I know it's a lot of layers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Slide right on all of them. That's how many I have though, for reference, 9. Arrow tool on freeform. I'm just going to stretch it this way a little bit. Okay, that looks good. Those are my fries. So adjust the heights and stuff, adjust the angles, kind of make it filled out nicely like this. And then we're going to go through and erase some lines so that we know what's in front. Because when we go to do our actual lines, we are going to follow these and we're just going to do one line layer. So we're not going to make copies and stuff. So on our layer menu, I'm just going to start on my top one. That one's going to be in front. I'll go right underneath it. I will click my arrow tool just to select it. That's this one over here. I'm going to grab my eraser tool. Okay, I'm going to erase the lines that are underneath this. And we'll actually go back and do that for our main one too. But I'm just going to erase all the lines that are under this, all the ones I can see. Okay, then you just need to decide what's in front and what's in back. So this one like almost overlaps with this one, but they kind of share this line here. But either way, I can erase that if necessary, just to kind of create like one line there. So that looks good. Okay, next layer down is this one right next to it. Grab my eraser tool and first erase everything below this main line. Okay, and then we need to decide, is it behind or in front of this one? And I would say it's behind this one here. So I'm just going to erase this line that it overlaps with to kind of clear that one up. So then these are the lines that we're left with for that back one. Okay, next layer down is this one. So I'm going to erase the bottom lines. Kind of messy is fine even. And then it's going to be in front of all these other ones. So this next one behind it will erase the line for that one. So this one's in front, so we'll leave the rest of it alone. Next one is this one over here actually. So I'm going to go over here. Same thing. I think it's going to be behind this guy here. So there isn't really, they kind of overlap right there, but I'm going to say that this one's behind. So I'm going to erase everything that overlaps with that next one and then everything below our main line. Okay. Next one, arrow tool, this guy. So again, this one's in front, so I'm just going to erase the main lines down here. I know this is kind of tedious, but this is my favorite piece of all three of them. Okay, next one is this guy. So again, this one's in front, so I'm going to erase this line that's overlapping for this one so that it kind of pronounces this one as our front one. If it overlaps with anything else, like obviously yours might look different, but you just have to, kind of decide. So if it overlaps with any other ones, like it overlaps with this one here, do we want that in front and we erase the other lines, or do we want this one in back? And I think I'm going to say in back. So I'm going to erase all those lines too, and then anything underneath our main line. So we just kind of want some clear cut like lines to follow that aren't fully like intersecting with each other. Next one, arrow tool, is this one over here now. So I think we decided this one's in front, the one that we did before. So I'm going to erase this line that it overlaps with, erase the lines underneath. Okay, and then it's obviously behind our main one in the middle here. So I'm going to erase that line as well that it overlaps. So just kind of clean all that up, make that look nice and pronounced. And my final bottom layer eraser tool is this one right here. So I'm going to erase the line in front of our main one. erase any bottom lines. Otherwise, again, double check that it's looking good. Now, I'm going to go back to my main top one and erase the tails at the bottom, since we didn't do that yet. Okay, so now just double check. Everything should look pretty clear, so there shouldn't be any other overlapping, like intersecting lines. You should be able to kind of see each individual fry and where it's at. And then that is it for our fry sketch. So once that's all done and set, I'm going to snap all of my layers together, including my bottom fry package. So that's all one layer. Our soda cup is still separate. Same thing, now we're going to kind of use this as a guide for the size of our burger. So I'm going to click the N on this layer and drag this opacity down again to like 20. Add a new layer above it, click on it and turn on Drawing Assist, and now we'll make our burger. So our burger is going to start a little bit lower than our fries. If you're like running out of room at the bottom, that's okay. We're still going to like move all this around, so you can start anywhere really, but I just want to kind of get a good general like similar size. So it'll be wider than our fries, wider than our cup, but shorter. So, okay, we're going to start with our top bun and build it down. So the top bun here, I'm just going to start maybe in the middle of my fries. And I'm going to make the bottom line first. It's going to be a straight horizontal line. So, straight horizontal line, hold it down, touch your finger to the screen. I'm going to extend it a little bit, make it a little wider there. Okay. I'm going to draw another line across the top, kind of like in quite a ways. So maybe right there, hold it down, touch your finger to the screen. Okay, the edge here is going to be nice and curved. So I'm going to curve down. I'm going to kind of curve back to my main line, something like that. And then I'm even going to kind of curve across the top. So I wanted a straight line to kind of get me started, but we do want kind of a slight curve to it. Something more like that. Then I'm going to grab my eraser, kind of clean this up a little bit. So that is our top bun. Okay, the next layer is going to be the lettuce. We're going to turn Drawing Assist off for this. So on our layer menu, click on this layer, turn off Drawing Assist, but we're going to stay on the same layer, same color, same everything. And our lettuce is just going to pop right underneath our bun. So I'm going to start on the right side. I'm going to kind of come out, kind of curve. It's going to be kind of really like wavy and stuff, kind of come down in some spots and then kind of back up on our other side there. So do that a couple times if you need to get one that you like. So I'm going to kind of have it come down a little bit. Get really nice and wavy, and then it kind of just sneaks back up under the other side there. Something like that. Next one is our tomato. Let's turn Symmetry back on. Click on this layer, turn on Drawing Assist. Okay, a little ways in from my bun and my lettuce here, I'm going to start my tomato. So I'm just going to do kind of like a curved line and then a straight line across the bottom. So straight horizontal line, hold it down, touch my finger to the screen. And it's okay if your lettuce is kind of overlapping like this, that's fine. Our tomato can be kind of hidden. Okay, then our cheese is going to be next, and that is going to again be with Symmetry off. So layer menu, click on this layer, turn off Drawing Assist. And the cheese is going to again, kind of like the lettuce, just kind of peek out, and then we're essentially going to create the corners of it. So I'm going to come down into a point. Going to kind of go up into a point, or up from there to create that corner. I'm going to kind of curve across, leaving a little gap between the tomato and this cheese, and then I'm going to curve back down to create another kind of point, kind of close to the other end of my tomato, curve back up, and then kind of connect. So something kind of like this. I want it to be a little less like symmetrical looking, so I might make this one a little shorter or something. Go back in with my eraser. So just kind of adjust it. But that is my cheese. Okay, then our burger, we're going to turn Drawing Assist back on. So layer menu, click on this layer, turn on Drawing Assist. And let's go ahead and make our burger. So it's going to be kind of similar to our tomato, but bigger. So I'm going to start kind of right where this cheese is. I'm going to kind of come out, make like a nice kind of curved thick side, curves into the bottom, and then straight across the bottom. Hold it down, touch your finger to the screen. Maybe not quite that big. I'm going to grab this line and just go up a little bit and then kind of connect there. Eraser there to kind of clean it up. That's my burger patty. Then we just need our bottom bun, and Symmetry still turned on. So I'm going to start a little ways down and inside to make our straight line across the bottom first. Hold it down, touch your finger to the screen, and then kind of same thing, we're going to kind of round and around there to kind of create our bottom bun. So it should look something like this. Now, the only other details really are like the sesame seeds, so we can sketch those in really quick. So on our layer menu, click on this layer, turn off drawing assist, and we'll just kind of sketch in a bunch of just kind of ovals in varying directions. Mainly towards the top, I'll probably leave a little gap on the bottom untouched, like I'm not drawing all the way down here, but maybe just about like a third of the way from the bottom of our top bun. I'll stop there and just sketch everything kind of above that. You don't have to do this part if you don't want to, the sketching of it, because we're just gonna, throw them in, but you can just to kind of get a feel for where you want them all. Something like that, very simple. Okay, and then that is it for the sketch of our burger. So now we're going to turn everything back on and kind of, move them around, resize them, whatever we need to do. So on our layer menu, let's click on our fries layer, turn the opacity back up. Click on our cup layer, turn the opacity back up. Okay, with my cup selected, I'm going to grab it and move it like up and to the right kind of. So it's going to be like about here. My straw will be kind of like right there is kind of where I'm thinking. I think I want to make it taller, so I'm going to just on freeform make it a little taller. Okay. Grab my fries layer, arrow tool, I'm going to move it to the left. It's going to be next to my cup, but I kind of wanted like a space between them. They can totally overlap though. I'm going to switch to uniform and just downsize it a little bit in reference to my cup. Maybe place it about there to start. And then my burger arrow tool, I'm also going to put that on uniform and increase the size a bit. So it should kind of go outside my cup and then in front of my fries and then a little bit lower than my fries as well. So maybe about right there. Okay, so just kind of resize things if you need to. I'm going to grab my cup layer on freeform, maybe make it a little taller or just move the whole thing up kind of so like a little less of it is hidden, behind my burger. So maybe something kind of like that. But, we want to take up a good amount of our canvas, kind of even from left to right. So like there's an even space over here, even space over here, good space on the bottom, good space on the top. Otherwise, I feel pretty happy with that. I think that looks pretty good. So now we can go in and lay down all of our hard lines. So I know that was already a lot of work, but we're essentially going to do it all again, but better this time. That was the most important part, was just size them correctly. So when we do go draw our hard lines, we can keep the same size and we're not like downsizing things or, warping them or anything. We don't want to do that. So, okay, let's go to our layer menu. I'm going to turn off my fries, turn off my burger. I'm going to grab my cup layer, arrow tool, make sure snappings turn on in the bottom left. And I'm going to snap them to the center of the screen where you see this vertical yellow line so that we're directly in the center and we can use symmetry for part of our sketch. Okay, layer menu. Click the N on this layer, drag our opacity down to like 25 to 30, add a layer above it, click on it and turn on drawing assist. Same black color, we're going to switch our pen to the dry ink brush under the inking category. That's what we will use for all of our hard lines. We'll set our size to like 5 to 7%, somewhere in there, just kind of depending how hard you push. You might want to lower or increase your size. We just want some good thin, but like bold-ish lines. So I'm going to start right on the edge of the top of my sketch here, push pretty good pressure so our lines are the same thickness, all the way to the middle, hold it down, touch your finger to the screen to make it perfectly horizontal there. I'm going to draw my edge. You can either hold it down or not. I'm going to draw to the middle. I will hold this one down, touch my finger to the screen. These bigger lines I'll definitely hold down. And then to the middle across the bottom, touch your finger to the screen. Okay, we'll do our bubbles while we're here. So just a nice good curved line. You can hold it down if you want to kind of make it nice and smooth and edit it. Okay, then our straw, I'm going to go to my layer menu, just click on this layer and turn off drawing assist so we can draw that. So I'm going to start, draw my one line, hold it down, touch my finger to the screen, find that angle. Next one, hold it down, touch my finger to the screen, find that same angle. And then we'll connect it with a nice oval, very, very skinny, hold it down, click Edit Ellipse and you can kind of adjust it, but nice and skinny, meeting up with the top of our lines there. Okay, and then in the sketch, we forgot to do our stripes, but I'm going to do some stripes on this as well. So I'm going to start maybe like a, quarter of the way down here, and I'm going to start my first stripe line. Hold it down, touch your finger to the screen, find this angle. We are 2 up from horizontal, so 1, 2, right there. And we're going to do that same angle every time. Go down a little bit, make the same line, hold it down, touch my finger to the screen to find that same angle and make it hit that side there. Okay, we'll leave a bigger gap and do the same thing. Hold it down, touch your finger to the screen. Leave a smaller gap like we did with the first one. Hold it down, touch your finger to the screen. Okay, maybe we'll do one more. Hold it down, touch your finger to the screen. Try to make these spaces kind of even so you can move it a little bit if you need to. And then same thing. Okay, so those are our stripes. Okay, make sure all of our lines are connected. That's going to be really important when we go to fill everything in. So just make sure there's no gaps. Okay, and then the last thing that we're going to do is add some black details, which will add on a new layer. So on our layer menu, let's add a new layer above this layer. No drawing assist or anything. Same black color, same pen. And we're just going to add some quick details. So like to the rim here of our cup, I'm just going to start and kind of make some really quick, light little pieces like this to make those like ridges. So I start vertical, and then as I go down, I go slightly more angled to kind of match that lid there, but nothing too crazy like that. Then we'll just kind of add some fun black details around as well. Some like kind of little lines, some little dots and things, just to kind of make it more fun. So just kind of do that. And then our burger will be covering up some of this, but not all of it. So just kind of do what you want. And we'll see what we can see at the end. I just kind of am going to do something like that. We'll just go all the way down, even though this will for sure be covered. Like so. Let's maybe even add one like to our straw. Okay. So those 2 layers are our black line layers. So I am going to just click on one, slide right on the other one to select it also, and click group. And this is going to be like our soda group. So I'm just going to minimize that for now. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to turn off my sketch. You can delete it entirely if you want, but I'm going to keep it. Next, let's turn on our fries layer, grab it with our arrow tool, click on it, and move it to the middle where we can see our vertical yellow line there. So we know we're exactly in the center. Okay, back to our layer menu, click the N on this layer, drag the opacity down to like 20% and add a layer above it. And this is where we'll draw our hard lines. Click on it and turn on drawing assist first, and we will get going. So I'm going to start where my lines are. I'm going to start right there, draw a good line, hold it down until we get to this rounded corner. Okay, I'm going to round the corner nicely there, kind of make sure that all looks good. And then across the bottom horizontally, hold it down, touch your finger to the screen. Okay, touch that up if you need to. Okay, same thing across the top here, round our corner. Do our kind of almost horizontal line, hold it down, and then this middle part, we just don't want one good smooth line, so kind of do what you have to do to get that. Kind of do one quick line to get it together. That helps me get kind of smoother lines. Okay, let's do our stripes while we're here, since those are with drawing assist. So I'm going to do my vertical ones here, hold it down, touch your finger to the screen. Again, make sure everything's kind of meeting up nicely. I'll follow my other ones. Okay. Now we need to do our fries. We need to do that with drawing assist turned off. So same layer though, we're going to just click on this layer, turn off drawing assist, and now we'll kind of get going. I'm going to follow my main lines as best as I can. So I'm going to do like a vertical line there. I'm not touching my finger to the screen. I am holding them down but you don't have to. You can make them a little like messier. They do not have to be perfect, but do what you wish. Again, make sure everything is meeting up nicely. No gaps where our lines come together. Okay, and then that is it for our fries shape for the most part. So we are again going to draw like some fun lines on them. So we'll do that on a new layer again. So layer menu, add a new layer right above this one, and we'll do some just kind of fun lines. I might kind of go like over the corners, like over my stripes even is fine. And maybe some kind of fun stuff like this. And then on my fries, even maybe just a little bit of like just kind of like maybe salt or something. So we'll just maybe do like a little few tiny little dots. Nothing too crazy. I'm not even gonna do like, I don't know, nothing too crazy. You don't have to do like a ton on each one, just maybe like a few here and there. Mainly even on the fronts, not even on like the side pieces. Just kind of for some detail. So that looks good for my fries. Okay, so that whole thing's done. So let's again group those layers. So we have our detail layer, our line layer, slide right on that one and click group. And this is our fries layer. You can delete your sketch if you want to. I'm just going to turn mine off. I'm going to minimize this group and turn this off. And now we can do our burger. So our final one. Again, let's check this to turn it back on. Grab it with our arrow tool and recenter it on our center yellow line there. And then go back to our layer menu, click the end on this layer, drag the opacity down a bit to like 25 to 30, add a layer above it, and click on and turn on Drawing Assist to start. Same brush, same color, same everything. And let's go ahead and again, we're going to start kind of like top down. I'm going to start on this bottom line here where it's kind of straight. Follow that to the middle, hold it down, touch your finger to the screen. Now the rest of this is all curvy, so I'm going to kind of just follow that as best as I can. So again, just kind of whatever works for you. I always have to like adjust the angle. There we go, that looks good. So kind of find what works for you to draw some good lines. Okay, while symmetry's on, I'm just gonna, since everything's like set, I'm going to follow the lines that I can. So like I can follow my tomato line here. I can follow this horizontal line, hold it down, touch your finger to the screen. As long as it doesn't interfere like with your lettuce. But you could always just like erase that when the time comes. So if your lettuce does go over it, you can, when we turn drawing assist off, you can erase a little bit and like cover your lettuce with it. Okay, so here I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start my burger, go across the bottom, touch my finger to the screen. Okay, then same thing here, make my nice curve, and then go across the bottom, touch my finger to the screen. Okay, so I just have my cheese and my lettuce left. So layer menu, same layer, just turn off drawing assist. And we'll kind of start here. Follow my lettuce. Real wavy. And again, we need all of our lines to connect, so make sure that's happening as we go. Okay, so I'm just going to double check it, make sure everything connects nicely. With symmetry turned off and on, sometimes it's hard to tell that you might have a gap somewhere where you didn't think you'd have a gap. But that looks good. And then same thing with symmetry turned off, we're going to do our sesame seeds. So I'm just going to go through and make those. Again, doing your best to kind of fill them in or connect them. We might color them differently. We might not color drop them. So it's okay if they don't connect. That's actually probably fine. And then we can add our kind of details. So layer menu, add a layer above this one, same pen and everything. And now we'll do the fun stuff. So maybe kind of go along here. Maybe kind of like some squiggles through the lettuce. Some lines on the cheese. Maybe a few quick lines on the tomato. And then on the burger, we're going to do maybe some lines towards the bottom. But then we're going into kind of like our salt. We're going to add some kind of just like dots all over to give that like burger texture to it. And then just a few lines on the bun as well across the bottom. Okay. And then that is it for our burger for now. So layer menu, these are our two burger layers. So select one, side right on the other, group them together. Okay, let's turn off our burger sketch layer, or you can delete it. And then I'm going to turn back on my other two main groups. So we have our other groups. We can go ahead and name them if we want. Let's click on this top group, click rename. This is our burger. The next group, the middle one, rename is our fries. And the bottom group, rename is our soda. Okay, and now I just kind of want to move them back to like where they were. So I'm going to grab my arrow tool on my soda group. So the whole group, if you select it, the whole thing moves. So I'm going to kind of place this back roughly where I thought it was. Same thing for my fries, back to like the left, a little lower. My burger down to the right, a little lower. But you know, kind of remove everything around. Maybe something like this. Okay, and now we can start coloring in. So this is going to be really fun, really kind of quick and easy, not too bad. So on our layer menu, let's go to our soda group. Again, we can turn off our other groups now. So the fries and the burger, let's turn those off. Soda group, open that up. We are going to add all of our colors underneath our line layers. So let's just add a new layer in this group here. Click on it and drag it to the bottom of these layers. Still within our group, preferably, but that's sometimes hard to do. But you can snap them into that group there. If it ends up outside the group, oh well, I guess, but trying to kind of keep them grouped together. So we have our new layer below everything for our colors. Click on our main line layer, not the detail like fun lines, but our main line layer here, and click on it and set it to a reference. And this just means that if we go to color drop, it's going to use this as our reference point and it's going to fill everything in this. So on a new layer underneath, let's first grab our first of our teal colors, the 7th one on the top row. And this is our main cup layer. We're going to do this outside of our stripes. So I'm going to drag and drop into this section, click continue filling at the top, and then tap into my other main sections. Okay, hopefully that all worked. If it like overfilled, either your threshold's way too high or you have a gap somewhere. So if your threshold's too high, you can just kind of tap into one and drag on the left of the screen and your threshold will lower at the top, and then you can like undo the fill and redo it. If your lines are disconnected, just go back to your line layer with your black dry ink brush and reconnect them and then try again. Okay, we're going to do separate layers for separate colors. So another new layer, let's go ahead and switch to our last color on the top row, and this is going to be for our stripes. So fill one, click continue filling, fill the other two. It's also going to be for our lid and our dots. Okay, so that's all on one layer there. Adding another new layer, and this will be for our straw, which is going to be red. Grab our bright red color, first one on the second row, and drag to fill in our straw, just the main part, not the oval. And then for the oval, we're going to do this darker red, the third one on the second row. Drag and drop that into there. Now we're going to go through and we're going to start texturing things. So on our layer menu, let's go back to our main first teal layer, the bottom one, and all these with our darker teal. Click on that layer and turn on Alpha Lock. Okay, now we're going to grab this 8th one on the top row, the lighter teal color, and we're going to finally use our special gritty texture brush that you should have downloaded. Okay, so find that. We'll set our size to maybe 30%. And if you push really light, you get a really light texture. If you push really hard, it gets thicker and brighter. So we are first going to push very light with this light color to just get a little tiny bit of texture all over it. All over this like teal layer that we have so far. So nothing too crazy, just a tiny little bit of texture. Okay, same layer, we're going to switch to our darker teal now, the 9th one on the top row. Same brush, same size and everything, and we are just going to kind of follow maybe the left side of this to add some kind of shadow there. And then across the bottom as well. Pushing pretty hard, getting some good texture going. Maybe a little bit across the top where like the cup rim is, that's good too. So just kind of like that. Okay, then we want our stripes to have some shadow too. So on our layer menu, let's find our stripes layer, the lighter blue one, click on it and turn on Alpha Lock. Grab our lighter teal color, the 8th one on the top row, and no like initial texture this time. We're just going to go straight with our shadow. So same thing with this like slightly darker color. I'm going to go pretty lightly on the edges and like the bottom corner here to give a little shadow on our stripes. Okay, and then that's pretty much it. We might add a shadow to our straw, so go to our straw layer, turn Alpha Lock on for that layer, and grab our darker red again, 3rd one on the second row, and kind of like add a little shadow towards the base of this. Okay, and then that is pretty much it for the main colors. So now we're going to add kind of a highlight color to all of it. So on our layer menu, now we're going to snap these 3 colored layers together. So just snap them all to one layer. Add a layer above it, click on it and set it to a clipping mask. Click the N on this layer and set it to overlay. And then grab our second to last color on the second row, 9th in line, this kind of lighter creamy color. And same brush, we're going to add some highlights now. So I'm just going to kind of start through the middle. You can kind of see it's a lot brighter on our bright teal colors, but I'm just going to go kind of right straight down through the middle with this to kind of create a highlight there. So I'm kind of right bright in the middle, and then I kind of let it fade on the sides. Let's add a little to the top of our straw, kind of. You can't see it totally good, but it adds a little bit there. And that's about all that we'll do for that. Okay, we'll add some more texture towards the end, lots more. So this is just the initial part. So that's it for our cup. Let's go ahead and just minimize this group and then click to turn on our fries group and open that up. Okay, click on our main fry line layer and set it to a reference. Add a new layer, drag the new layer below the reference layer so that we're hopefully still in that same group though. Maybe it's easier if we drag the reference layer above it. There we go. That's an idea. There we go. Now it stays in the group. Okay, so now we'll lay down our main colors. So first our base red color, the first one on the second row. Drag and drop it starting on the very outside. Click continue filling and then we'll go every other one so that we end up with these 3 in the middle that are our stripes. Okay, then let's add a new layer and switch to our stripes color, which is the first color on the first row of the color palette. Drag and drop that into one stripe, click continue filling and do the other ones. Okay, new layer for our fry colors now. So that's going to be starting with this 4th color on the second row. Drag and drop it into one of the front of the fries and then click continue filling. And then again, tap into all the fronts that you can see, these wider pieces, leaving the other ones untouched. Okay, same layer, we're just going to switch our color. So 5th color on the second row and tap into these other ones. So you don't even have to drag and drop again the first time. You can just start tapping. If you have any really tiny pieces like this one down here, I'm going to fill that in with my pen instead. So I'm just going to switch my pen to the monoline brush, and I'm just going to fill that in with my brush really quick. Okay, and then that completes all of our base fry colors. So now we're going to do kind of a similar thing that we did over here. Let's go back to our main red layer, click on it and turn on alpha lock. And we have a lighter and a darker color. So let's grab our lighter color, the second one on the second row. And this is going to be for like our all over texture. So go back to our custom gritty texture brush, same size, like 30%. And again, I'm going to go kind of very lightly with this all over to create just the teeniest bit of like base texture. Okay, then I'm also going to create kind of a highlight with it as well. So kind of in like this top left corner maybe. Just a little bit extra up there. Then we'll grab our darker red, the third one on the second row, and kind of create a shadow across the bottom and along like the right side. So our shadows are kind of like where everything's coming together. So our cup, where it comes together, that's kind of where we're not getting as much light. Okay, so let's really thicken this up towards the bottom, like so. For our stripes, let's go to that layer, click on it, turn on alpha lock. We'll add just a shadow to this. That is going to be with this second to last color on the second row, 9th in line there. And again, we'll just kind of add a shadow like across the bottom with this. Nothing too crazy. Okay, then our fries, we are going to add a shadow to, but since we have 2 different colors, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to add a layer above it. Click on it and set it to a clipping mask and click the N and set it to multiply. And this will give us kind of a shadow color on everything that we have laid down. So we're actually going to use the same color, 9th one on the second row, and I'm just going to go through and kind of right at the base, I'm just going to go through and kind of add this as like a little shadow there. And then it just hits everything and adds kind of a shadow to it. So like it's a little darker on our darker yellow and a little lighter on our lighter yellow, but still like darker overall to add that shadow. Then again, we want to add like a highlight to everything. So once that's done, we're done with all of our base colors and we can add our one highlight color or our one highlight layer to it. So let's snap all these together, including that multiply layer. Add a layer above it, click on it and set it to a clipping mask and click the N and set it to overlay this time. And again, same color, 9th one on the second row. Same brush and everything, and we are just going to kind of add some quick highlights to like the right side, maybe the tops of the fries up there, maybe kind of the top of the box even a little bit. Nothing too crazy. Okay, then that is it for my fries. So on our layer menu, we can go ahead and just minimize that group, turn on our burger group. Okay, click on our main burger line layer and set it to a reference, add a layer above it, and let's drag our reference layer above it. Boom. Okay, back to our blank layer underneath and we can start filling in our colors. So our burger bun is going to start with this first color on the last row. Let's drag and drop it into the top and then click continue filling and add it to the bottom. Okay, next layer. Grab our burger color, the next main color, fourth one on the last row. Drag and drop to fill that in. Layer menu, add a new layer for our cheese, which is going to be this color, the seventh one on the last row. Drag and drop that into your cheese. Next up is our tomato, another new layer. Bright red color, first one on the second row. Drag and drop for our tomato. Mine is split into two because of my lettuce. And then our lettuce, another new layer. Our green color, first green color, sixth one on the second row, and fill in our lettuce. And lastly, for our sesame seeds, let's add one more. Our sesame seeds are in this bright white color, the last one on the last row. And you can drag and drop to fill them in, or you can fill them in with your brush, whatever works. I think I'm just going to switch back to my monoline brush and kind of manually fill them in. I'm going to go kind of messy, and then I'm going to move this layer below our bun layer. So just fill that all in, just at least so there's no gaps. Okay. Then on my layer menu, I'm just going to drag this all the way to right above my bun, then grab my bun layer and drag it up above my sesame seeds just so they all stay in the same group. But that helps fix that problem. Now we can kind of do the same thing again. So layer menu, let's click on this bun layer and turn on alpha lock. And our bun started with this first color on the last row. Let's grab the second one right next to it. Switch back to our special gritty texture brush. And this is kind of an all over texture again. So let's just lightly all over it to get a little texture. Then I'm also going to kind of focus on like the top and middle just a little bit extra. Nothing too crazy. Now we need our shadow color, so that's the third one on the last row, and I'm going to kind of work this in across the bottom of the bun, both of them, so the bottom of the top bun, and then the bottom of the bottom bun as well. I can also kind of do like right next to the burger a little bit. We'll maybe add like a highlight in the middle, but nice good shadows down there since it's at the bottom. Okay, now let's just keep going up. Our next one is our burger layer. Click on that, turn on alpha lock, grab the color next to our base color for that, which is going to be the fifth one on the last row. And same thing, just some good like all over texture, pretty lightly. Okay, and then maybe a little bit in the middle again. Okay, then our shadow color, next one in line, sixth one on the bottom row, to kind of like the edges and bottom of it. Feel free to adjust your brush size at any point. I might kind of do some under the cheese as well. Kind of like that. Okay, layer menu, go to our next layer, the cheese. Click on it and turn on alpha lock. And our cheese was with this seventh color. Let's go to the eighth color. This is for like an all over texture to it. Lightly. Next layer, ninth one on the bottom row, and this is our shadow. So I'm going to go kind of like around the edges. Maybe right next to my tomato, just to add some dimension. Next up is my tomato layer. Click on it and turn on alpha lock. We have our lighter color, second one on the second row for some all over texture. Lightly, and then our shadow color, third one on the second row for some shadow across the bottom and maybe next to the lettuce. Next layer is our lettuce layer. Click on it and turn on alpha lock. Our lettuce was with this sixth color on the second row. Let's grab the one right next to it, seventh in line, and that is our all over texture. And then our shadow color, eighth one on the second row. And this time I think we're mainly going to stick towards the bun because our lettuce is sticking out like more than anything. So it's kind of like going to be highlighted on the edges there where it's catching the light. So we're just going to go right next to the bun with the shadow. Okay. That is it for all of our main ones. We're not going to do like, we did that extra multiply layer on the fries. We don't need to do that for this. We are just going to go straight into our main highlight layer. So I am going to snap all of these colored layers together, add a layer above it, click on it, set it to a clipping mask, click the end and set it to overlay, and switch back to our 9th color on the 2nd row. And we'll add a nice good highlight throughout. So I'm going to do some like right through the middle of the bun, kind of right there towards the top middle area to really highlight that. And then I might lower my size a little bit to like 20 and do like right through the middle of my burger, get a nice little highlight going on there. Okay, maybe a little highlight on my bottom bun in the middle. Okay, maybe a little highlight like on my cheese with this like size. And then I might lower my size a little bit more to like 10 and do like through the tomato. So just kind of adjust your size as necessary. This really doesn't show up on our red, but that's okay. Then we'll do our lettuce as well. So the edges of our lettuce, we'll do a little bit as well. Get a little bit of a highlight going there. And then that is it for our burger. So that's actually it for most of our picture. We're almost done now. We're going to add some little details up here, and then we'll add all of our texture to everything. I guess actually while we're here, let's add our texture to our background because we're doing the same thing that we just did with this. So let's find our background like shape layer here. Click on it and turn off drawing assist, and then click on it and turn on alpha lock. So our main color for that was the 2nd one on the top row. Let's do our 3rd one on the top row for all of our texture. Same brush. Let's increase our size a bit, maybe to like 50 so we can get some good coverage, and just kind of all over that very lightly. Add that all over texture with this lighter color. Then we're going to go through in some spots and kind of just like brighten it up a little bit. So just kind of here and there, I'm just going to add some kind of brighter spots. Nothing too crazy, kind of more towards the middle. And then we'll do like a darker around the edge. Okay, so let's grab our darker color, 4th one on the top row, and I'm going to do like the top left edge, kind of like this. Maybe this whole bottom edge. Maybe along like the bottom right side as well. So something kind of like that for our background. Now let's add our fun little details. So let's add that to the very top. So find the top of all of our layers, add a layer above it. Click on this layer and set it to hard light. Grab our background color again, the 1st one on the top row, and our dry ink brush again under the inking category. And we are going to add just some really fun little details. My size is at like 10. I'm just going to add like some little diamonds and stuff. So I'll just add like a little diamond, kind of fill that in. Something like that. Then I'll maybe do like a little bubble, a little dot, maybe another little dot, maybe a little like kind of cross, like little twinkles, something kind of like that. My diamond's a little big. I'm going to redo the whole thing. Just going to make it a little smaller in comparison to everything else. So more like that. Okay, so that's kind of our little twinkly thing. Something like that. And then maybe I'll do like a few over here as well. So we'll do like a bubble, do like a cross, some dots, maybe a little diamond. Okay, maybe like a teeny bit here, like a little cross and a dot or two. And maybe the teeniest little bit like out here a little further. So just kind of some fun little details like that. If you want to, you can totally leave them out if you don't prefer them. But I think they just kind of add that little extra like retro kind of flair to it. Okay, and then on this same layer, we're going to add just a few more fun details like with this to our pieces. So I'm going to kind of go back through again and like make some of these like fun quick lines just to add some more like detail down here. So maybe some to like our fries. Nothing too crazy. Some to like our cup. and some to like our burger. Just kind of wherever you see fit. Just as this is like more of like a shine, you know, than the other ones. So it just kind of adds some more of that fun to it. Okay, nothing too crazy though, just a little bit of that. And then we just have 2 more texture layers to go and then we're done. So our next one, let's just add a layer on top of everything. Click the N on this layer and this time we're going to set it to overlay. We're going to use the 9th color on the second row. And this time we're going to make a custom brush. So real quick, under the textures category here, there's this rosette brush that's a standard Procreate brush. And I really like it. We just want the size to be bigger, like the size of the pattern. So if we're on this base one and we go and we like do this, so you see it's like when you push lighter, you get kind of dots, but it's like even when you increase the brush size, it just like increases how wide you're touching and it doesn't increase the size of the pattern inside. So I want to increase the size of the pattern inside. So on our brush library here, find that brush, slide to the left and make a duplicate of it. Click on your new one that pops up, and all we're going to do is go under grain and increase the scale here to like 25 to 30. So I'm going to do like 28 maybe, and then click done. And then that is what I like a little bit better. My brush size for coverage is going to be at like 50. And then if we start pushing, then you see that our dot pattern is just a little bigger. But I go like really light to get some small ones, and I push a little harder to get some like thicker ones, you know, something kind of like that. And I'm just going to kind of do that all within this area, just in little patches, not all over, but you know, we'll just do some little patches. But feel free to like adjust the size of that grain to anything. I did 28, but you can totally do, you know, whatever you wish. But yeah, we'll just do a little of this in little patches all over. For just some kind of fun retro like texture. Once you have a good amount of that, we are going to do our final layer that is going to add texture all over, and it's going to also just really brighten up our piece. So everything looks not dull necessarily, but it's going to look even better. So on our layer menu, let's add a new layer to the top, and this time we're going to add noise to everything. So let's do our wand icon, click noise. Let's drag our noise percentage up to like 20. So like on the screen here to 20. Then we're going to increase the scale of it quite a bit to maybe 20 as well. Everything else can stay the same. So my octaves are at 0, my turbulence is at 70. I want clouds in single. Okay, then to make it really, really pop, go to our layer menu. This layer on top now has our noise. It's just like a gray layer. And if we click the N, we can flip through some of these different layer styles. And the one that we're going to use is going to be Color Burn. And then that makes everything just pop that extra little bit. So like if you were to go and like turn it off, you can see the difference. You can mess around with other layer styles as well, but this is definitely the one that like really, you know, makes it fun. So color burn, and then that is it for our drawing today. So I'm going to go ahead and turn symmetry off so we don't have to look at that anymore. So I hope that you had fun. I hope that you liked the way that yours turned out. I hope that you maybe learned something new. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so that YouTube shows it to more people and they can make their own little burgers and fries picture like you did. If you would like to share a drawing on Instagram, I would love to see it. So go ahead and post it there and then tag me so that I can check it out. And while you're there, go ahead and give me a follow so you can see what I'm working on next. Thanks for watching.